So today was a bust because I was patiently waiting throughout the day today for a package to come in the mail. I ordered a neon sign to place on my backdrop. I'm working on a backdrop for in my bedroom, and I like that aesthetic of the neon sign with the like artificial grass decor, and so I'm working on that. And I was actually looking forward to I was hoping that that was going to come today, at least earlier in the day, so that I could kind of record that process and show you all what I'm thinking for my bedroom makeover. I did a video previously about my thoughts surrounding making over my bedroom, and how I'm trying to turn this space into a more creative space because I plan on spending more time in my room to, record more content from my room. And so I had, a few thoughts about that and a few ideas. And that's one of the ideas. And I'm kicking myself a little bit because here it is. It's a little bit later. It's not as late as it normally is when I record videos, and I did a separate video about that. But here it is, later in the day, and I'm like, I could have just recorded something else, but I was just so hyper focused on that and wanting that to be what I talked about today, and then ultimately it didn't work out as I planned, which is okay. But I just wanted to update you all on what's going on with that, and just kind of get into the bedroom makeover. I keep doing quotes because it's not like a renovation or like some grand thing. It's just, I've mentioned this in other videos, just one of the things that I want to consciously, that I am consciously working on is making my space feel more like home. And with my room, it's not a huge room. And so my biggest thing has been working on my decluttering efforts, and I think for the most part I've pretty much decluttered as much as I would be able to declutter in my bedroom, and now it's more so about reorganizing what I have, just to make it just a bit more, just get it more organized, and with the stuff that I do have, because the stuff that I do have, it's not a ton of stuff, but it's all of the stuff that I need and that I actually do use throughout the year, particularly my wardrobe, my clothes and shoes, and just, essential things like linens and stuff like that. Um, but it is proving to be um, still a bit more. It's taking up not just the clothes, but I have like other things that I could possibly get rid of as I'm looking around the room, that I could possibly get rid of, that I'm kind of on the fence about, suitcases and things of that nature, because I'm going to need that stuff. I'm going to need those things. So I don't really want to get rid of a lot of that stuff. And that's just one of the challenges of coming, downsizing from a whole apartment where I had the room to kind of disperse things throughout the apartment, and it's still not be nowhere near cluttered, to now coming down to just a single room and not having that space, and just still working on that. It's just taking me more time than I anticipated. It's taking me a little bit longer than I anticipated. So in any event, getting back to how today was a bust, because I was, waiting for this sign to come, and I wanted to record that process of me trying, hanging it up and just expressing my idea for, um, backdrop design. I want, ultimately, I want to have like maybe two spaces or two areas in which I'll, utilize the most for content creation within my room. Um, and I want to share that process when I get around to designing. And there's a couple of DIY things that, again, I'm exploring the idea of trying to do it myself, and that'll make for some probably hilarious content, because I'm not a handy person. I can do simple things as long as I got a good set of instructions. I can follow the instructions and stuff, but a lot of times, especially when it comes to like furniture and stuff, it's like hit or miss with me. Sometimes I'll nail it, I'll get it, it's good. Then a lot of times it'll be like rickety, like I'll put it together how it's supposed to be put together, but then it'll have like it'll be uneven or something. It'll not sit right or stand up straight or something or something like that. So it's literally hit or miss. It just depends on what it is, how, great I am with my, with all of my, hand-eye coordination type stuff, stuff or what have you. But I'm still exploring that possibility. But yeah, just working on the space, and it's just one of those things when it comes to like the daily posting and just trying to find, you know, the thing about the day. And what I'm also kind of dealing with is just balancing my need for rest ultimately, right? Because that's one of the main reasons why I even moved back home, and and why I'm taking a break from work. And I don't even really refer to it as like a gap year or a sabbatical, because I'm not for sure that I'll be, unemployed for a year. But in this economy, there's a good possibility, a good chance that I am, because ooh, I've seen all of the, different stories, YouTube videos and things, how hard it is to get a job. But I'm prepared for it to, take a long time. But, and then I'm not really calling it a sabbatical either, because, I'm not really on a vacation. I haven't, or anything like that. So just a break, just a break from, 9 to 5 work, and balancing, my rest, to help kind of get my mental health back on track, and things of that nature. So I'm balancing that with also the desire to, declutter, and use that as a funnel for, extra, cash to, fund my move abroad dreams. And just organizing space, and just taking care of all the other day-to-day, activities that, have been reintroduced into my life at this point. So I'm just trying to find a good balance between all three. And I think now, as time has gone by, I'm getting more settled into the groove of things, and I'm kind of coming up, well, I'm able to recognize when that need or that urge to feel like I have to be doing something productive, because that's something that I actually struggle with a lot. Just always feeling like I should be doing something, and then kind of getting, I don't want to say stressed out, but I guess the term they use is spiraling. I don't know. That sounds so dramatic. Or, but, getting stressed out about feeling like I wasted the day. And I'm trying to normalize that, and we should normalize that, just not doing anything for real, and just kind of breathing, just breathing. And I'm trying to actually get into a couple of shows on Netflix and things of that nature, to try to, just give myself a break from that feeling of having to do something. So um just, dealing with that, and initially, when I first moved home, like I hit the ground running, even though I wasn't working, like with the, reselling items and dropping off donations and stuff. Like that was, for them first 2 weeks, that was it. That was literally all I had been doing. So much so that I was like, dang, is this gonna be my new job? Because that's how I felt. But since the sales have, slowed down, it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, it's good that they've slowed down, because I'm getting the chance to like kind of breathe a bit. And now I'm gonna go into like the phase two of it. I call it the phase two, because since the sales have slowed down, I'm gonna try to relist these things on different platforms. And then there's still actually a lot of stuff that I have to actually list for sale that I haven't got around to. I was just trying, I had like a certain set of like the primary things that I wanted to make sure that I tried to get rid of as, as quick as possible, which is the stuff that took up the most room. And I did pretty good. I didn't get rid of everything. And like I said, those sales have kind of, have slowed down. So I'm going to kind of revamp that and just ramp that up for that part. And I gave myself a very ambitious goal of a month, but time just goes by so fast, and my month is like basically the end of this week. So I already know I'm not, not going to hit that goal, but it's okay because I'm not in any particular rush. It's just more so the OCD in me and the, having to declutter type stuff. Just wanting to get it done as quickly as possible, but ultimately it's not detrimental. It can continue, and I'm not trying to, give myself an excuse or scapegoat because it's still like the primary thing on my plate. But it's just giving myself grace and realizing that, hey, I'm trying to, juggle a couple of different things at the same time, even though I'm, not working right now. And I don't want to get too overwhelmed with it. And I don't want it to turn into a stressful thing. So I'm just trying to give myself a little bit of grace, and that's okay. And let's normalize it. Let's normalize resting. Let's normalize giving ourselves grace, and it being okay if we don't, hit any particular, goal, especially if it's something as inconsequential as decluttering. I mean, it's okay if you don't meet goals in general, though. That's fine. Just as long as you keep working towards it, I think it's okay. We can give ourselves grace in that area. And so, yeah, ultimately, I feel like, and I'm being a bit dramatic, with today being a bust, but I was so focused on that thing, and I could have, taken it upon myself to maybe focus on something else, but I was just more excited. I was so excited about the sign, coming and things of that nature that I just didn't really pay attention to nothing else. And, but it's okay. It'll get here hopefully, eventually. And we'll go from there. But what I'd like to ask you all is, what do you all do if when you feel like, today, that like if you had something, your heart set on something, and I'm making it sound a bit dramatic, but if there's something that you so looked forward to and it didn't, happen, or it didn't pan out the way you wanted it to pan out, how do you cope with that, or how do you reconcile that with yourself? Do you try to do anything else, to make up for it, or is it just, you know, dust off your shoulder type stuff, like water off your back type stuff? Let me know in the comments. We can have a discussion about it. But that is just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update, let you know what's going on with me today, and that was pretty much all I wanted to share. So thank you for watching my video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.